Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. And today we've got some goodies from the vintage collection. We've got from Star Wars Ahsoka, Ezra Bridger, and from Star Wars Rebels, Zeb Aurelius. Let's be honest, we all just call him Zeb. Both of these, title them however you want. Ezra's from Rebels, Zeb, could be from, was it in Ahsoka? I guess technically in Ahsoka. Or was it, I don't know. Maybe it was Rogue? Not Rogue. Cassian? Mando, I think it was in Mando. Whatever. Anyway, these all originally started from Star Wars Rebels, and now we've got them here at the table. Ezra from Ahsoka, and of course Zeb from Rebels. So let's start off with good old Ezra. Cool packaging here, not too shabby. I did notice they're kind of going back to this style of packaging, not having like the 8 or so figures, the upcoming figures on the line. So not too shabby here, but let's go ahead and I guess we can be gentle. Let's be gentle. So we're gonna come on down here and gently open this package, just in case we keep the cards. I've got a little baggie full of pretty nice cards, and you know what? If I don't ever use them one day, maybe somebody out there will make a post saying, "Hey, I need a bunch of cards," and I can say, "Hey, man, $5, I'll ship them to you." That kind of thing. Help a collector out, kind of thing, and they're fun. They're fun to have. Some of the artwork's really good. And this is no exception, especially if you can get a nice card like this. You might as well just take the extra effort and keep it nice. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, now on to Mr. Ezra himself, hanging out in his plastic prison. Let's see here, got a little bit of tape, as we always do. Holding the saber, holding in the blaster. But luckily, nothing's holding us back from getting into this figure. A little lightsaber action. Another lightsaber action. Come on. Now, we definitely do have these guys coming again with the Ghost. So that's kind of the reason why I've been buying these guys. I already have them from their basic release, but I definitely need them to be, vintage collection, highly articulated, so that they can sit around and do everything they need to do inside the Ghost, as I did back the Ghost. So I'm super excited about seeing that. Little blaster action going on there. A unlit saber for Ezra. I want to say this is not his normal saber. This is the one that was kind of given to him in the show. And then again, here's the saber. Nice green light. It might be, but it's hard to keep track of sabers. I'm not the best at it. Obviously, his earlier one in the Rebels series was like the blaster kind of thing, so that was pretty cool. Definitely a different take on it. But here we go with Ezra. He does have his scar that he received in the show. So I know this is supposed to be based off of Ahsoka, but I almost feel like this is kind of like a 2-for-1. Like, if you never watched the animated show and you're like, "Oh, I really wanted Ezra from Ahsoka," then this will pass for that. But I really think this is kind of Hasbro's attempt at doing the human up of Rebels. I feel like this is more that character than it is the character in the show. But it looks really good. He feels good. He feels thick. He doesn't feel too skinny. Like some of the clones you'll get sometimes just feel a little skinny on the joints and all that stuff. But I like his boots here. Really cool. Nice little paint touch there. On the back looks good. But an overall nice figure. But let's see if you guys see what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull the card back up here. And let's just look here. Does that really look like him, or does that look like more of the animated Ezra? You guys tell me down in the comments what you guys think. But I think this was meant to be a humanized Rebels interpretation of the later Season 3, 4 type Ezra. But pretty cool. Excited to add that to my Ghost collection, and that's exactly where he's going to go, along with his buddy Zeb. Now, $30. Ooh, it hurt, and I try not to buy these at retail. But the reality is, I do have the Ghost. I backed the Ghost. It was just one that I really couldn't take a chance on it being low stocked or something like that. So I had to pull the trigger, you know, to make sure that he came home and found his home inside the Ghost. Because it's one thing you don't want to do is pay $30 for a figure, but one thing you really don't want to do is to pay $40 or $50 because it has sold out and they, you know, underproduced or whatever like that. And obviously, I think this is, was it this one or was it Chopper and somebody else? I think it may have been Chopper and somebody else that's getting that we had to buy for the special artwork that comes with the Ghost figures from the HasLab unlocks. So one of them we're already getting on another card. So alright, come on out of here, Zeb. There we go. There's Zeb free of his little coffin nonsense. Let's go ahead and unbox his weapon bag here. Bring back nightmares. I so hated this way of doing things, but it seems to be pretty much over now. So here's his little stun weapon thing he's got going on. Let's see, I guess these kind of go on the tip. Alright, tip there. Just the tip, ladies, just the tip. I promise, just the tip. But okay, that looks really cool. Very nice. That'll display really well. And I actually will display him with his weapon on this one. Just because I think that looks really rad. Look how the detail there on that effect is super cool. So very nice weapon. Then he does have a blaster, and I see a peg hole here on the side, or not a peg hole but a peg. So I'm gonna guess that goes into his back, and there you go. He has 2 spots and 2 spots. So let's see how that pegs in. But overall, nice weapon. Nothing to super write home about. It's the weapon that it should be. So there you go. Does this have it on both sides? Okay, now that's a little weird. Alright, see if I can get you to zoom in again. So you see the 2 pegs there, and then you see the 2 pegs there. Now, I get, like, oh, well, you know, you might want to do it a different direction, but come on, like, you know, you can only just pick the direction that it's supposed to be and do it that way. I think we're getting a little silly when we put the pegs on 2 sides of the weapon, because obviously the weapon didn't have pegs on 2 sides. So, you know. And when he holds it, you know, he just can hold it with the pegs facing inwards of the figure, and it wouldn't be as obvious. But I guess that's the path that they chose. But here is the path I chose, and that is to spend $30 on good old Zeb. So how does he look? Let's see. Checking out his face. Very cool. Very nice face sculpt there. Definitely, again, I mean, this look is 100% Rebels, which, you know, is what they said. You know, they said on the packaging that this was Rebels, so it's definitely that, no doubt about it. But again, I think you get the humanized version of Zeb here. Nice and shiny armor. Has the cool little symbols here. Extra little symbols there on the side. His paint on his arm looks really good. Overall, super cool. Nice looking figure. All the way down, he's got his little extra holster looking things that, you know, obviously aren't holsters. And then he's got his nice purple Zeb feet, 4 toes. Hang 8 there, buddy old pal. Let's see. Let's just size compare this here. Alright, both vintage collection figures. I mean, is half a head and a little bit extra. I mean, is that an extra $12, $13 worth, right? In beef? I just don't think so. I think that's a little ridiculous by Hasbro. I hate to say it. I mean, it's a great figure. There's absolutely no denying that this is a great figure, but an extra $10 to $12 versus a normal vintage collection figure, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But hey, whatever. I don't make the big bucks over at Hasbro. That's up for them to decide. But let's come back. I'm going to grab the original basic ones of these to close it out, so we can have kind of a quick comparison, and then we'll get on out of here. Because you know what? After spending $30 and then really like $50 for these 2 guys, I really need to throw one back. So hold on just 1 second, and we'll be back in a flash. Alright, so first up is young man Ezra. Now, I thought there was an older version of this Ezra. I can't seem to find it, but I swear there was one. It must be hidden somewhere. So, just kind of a comparison there. I don't know. I could be crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But this is also like, you know, season 1 versus, you know, 20 years later, basically, Ezra. So, there's your point of comparison there. And then, basic Zeb. I think I have like 3 of these sitting around in my stuff because I really loved Rebels, and I just had a feeling eventually this was going to kick off in some way. So anytime I saw a loose Zeb and a little, you know, buy 1, buy 2 for $5, I went ahead and picked them up. So very cool. I think it's obviously an upgrade here, but also, I mean, come on. This was like $11. This was like 30. This might have been 7. I think this was probably in a 2-pack, so you know it may have been like 14 or something. But wild times. But all in all, at the end of the day, as long as it's a good figure and you've already spent the money, hey, not too shabby. But it is that time to go ahead and say goodbye. It's been fun. It's been real. It's always a good time here at Throwbacks, and we appreciate you guys joining us every single day for our new videos that we put out every single day. But I think that's going to be it. So, for myself and Uncle BJ, we're going to go ahead and throw it on back for us. We'll see you all next time.